come in, pull up a chair, and shut the door. I have new stats for you for the housing market. Florida, the top markets that are going to crash first because they're starting to show signs of life in Florida. And as you can tell, it was my birthday. I have a new chair. Very excited about that. Sure to subscribe to the D-Money newsletter because we are going to send out our first newsletter in October, and it's going to be content just for our newsletter viewers. Sorry, the rest of you won't see it. Special content. It's incredible what is going on in the market. We're going to go over all of the stats. Consumer spending is at an all-time high. All of us feel it. You don't need data to tell you what you can see clearly with your eyes. Credit card spending is at an all-time high for consumers. I can admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem doing that. And I was wrong. I said that this crash would be nothing like 2008. And I was wrong. It's much worse. 10 points for all of you that I knew I was going there. The consumer debt, I mean, we didn't get hit like this in 2008. It was foreclosures and everyone getting homes, and it wasn't like it is now. We are getting hit from every angle. And one of them starts to be the catalyst. Everything's going down the dominoes. I mean, the Fed knew when they raised interest rates, like not just raised interest rates, tripled and demolished industries by raising those rates. And his friends, the bankers, he knew that that was going to start a horrible event. Consumer spending is at an all-time high with credit card. Car loans, that's all I keep saying, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. We've never been hit like this from every angle. Consumers can't afford to spend money on anything. You have the credit cards. Now interest rates have gone up. Of course, credit card interest rates have gone up. They're at an all-time high. Car loans. It now is the average over $700 for a car loan. And I know a lot of you would say, well, don't buy a new car. My little friends that have never been through anything. New car dealers will give them credit, people that have poor credit and need help, and they can only get loans from the new car dealer, incentives and all the stuff. Please do not tell them not to buy a new car. Doesn't sound very good. Over $700. Car insurance is up. I'm not even talking about a home yet. We're talking about all of the consumer challenges every day. Groceries, gas, car insurance. Rent has gone up. I mean, everything is more expensive, and guess what? It didn't outpace income. It's not all of a sudden everyone's making 40% more, because that would make no sense. They can't do that either. Credit card debt alone in second quarter went up $43 billion. It's triple the amount since the Great Recession that we had in 2008. People are in trouble. Now the student debt crisis is coming on. I call it a crisis because, believe me, no one can add anything onto their bills. It is a crisis mode. What gets me is when everyone says housing market, well, we don't have any housing inventory. Stop with that. That's silly. It's crazy. It makes you sound silly. We have more than enough inventory now that we don't even count and we play games with. You can make numbers look any way that you want, and they have been, and people believe them. Instead of when I came out with July numbers, I was saying, guys, the buyers are gone. No one's buying homes. What was the articles that came out? Prices have gone up. Right. The average price of a house has gone up because that's the only one that can afford it are people with money. Psh. I mean, what is wrong with you? I mean, I know our people don't say that. Really? Yeah, the average price went up because only rich people can afford to buy a home. And that's all the news would put out there and not tell the truth. They're all in it together. I'm sorry, I'm doing the conspiracy theory today. They are all in it together. They know what to say for the news articles, and they say it. Everyone laps it up. They're trying to give us positive about the housing market, and there's nothing positive about it. I'm going to show you here in a second with the Florida numbers. The West Coast has been getting hit hard nonstop, and now it's starting to come this way. Everyone wanted to blame the 2008 on the subprime loans. There's a lot to it, more than just subprime loans. We're starting to see it this time with what we call DSCR loans, the Airbnb shenanigans, or everyone going for Airbnb. All of a sudden, everyone's going to be a millionaire. I'm going to go buy 5 to 10 Airbnb homes and passive income, rock on, collect 200. I went past go. No, it doesn't work that way. Most people, 99.9% of people do not become a millionaire overnight. Look at that to be a catalyst of what could make the dominoes finally start to happen. What has to happen, and Mr. Powell knows this because he's run out of everything he could do with the interest rates. He has to tank the market. He has to have everyone lose jobs, start the foreclosure thing again. He made it this time with a 40-year AM and different programs and mediation, some different things that they passed law on. So I know this is going to happen. Every action they show us it's going to happen. You know, coming up to a presidential election, they don't want bad news on anyone. There's over 600 different MLSs that you can purchase or be part of. Zillow, Redfin, do not carry as many as realtor.com. That's why if you notice on realtor.com, they have more of the data sets. They purchase more of the MLS books nationwide. Use your eyes. You can see it's not a good market. Look in your bank account. Are you happy? Does it look great? No, it's bad and it's going to get worse. And we all have to be there to help one another this time. It was lonely in 2008. No more. I'm going to go over and tell you Florida numbers. I can't wait. You are going to be shocked. Come follow me. Come on. Let's go over Florida. Finally, we have some movement in Florida. So what I did is it was driving me crazy. I was seeing other people's videos, not that they're bad or anything, but I just didn't like the data points that they were collecting. And there's a lot going on in Florida. You have the vacation rentals, you have absentee owners. There's a lot of different data sets you need to look at to really see if there's an issue or if there's not an issue. So on here, I put the top cities. And this first page I'm going to have for you down below as well, this spreadsheet. On this first page, it's all the active listings, and it has July, August, and September as of date, the 24th. As you can see, you can come down. Let me do from left to right. Then we wanted to look at active listings that have owned the home 3 years or less, because that shows unaffordability right away. Like, why would you buy a home? Why would you buy a home and then want to sell it within 3 years unless you have job relocation, divorce, something it would hint to having an issue in life other than just, relocating. I mean, that's another one as well. And then over here, of those active listings, how many of them had an 80% loan to value ratio? That is close to being underwater and selling. Now, those are not mutually exclusive. So this 80% loan to value ratio is a loan that they have on the home that's 80% or higher. It's not an active listing that's owned the home for 3 years or less that has an 80% loan to value ratio. Capiche? Then you come over and it'll tell you the percentage, LTV. You're really not going to see a lot of a difference in Florida because we haven't been hit yet. You're not going to really see a difference in Florida. We have not been hit yet with prices like the West Coast. So the LTV value is not really going to show you much. So you need to delve deeper into the data to figure out what cities are going to have an issue. You can't just look at that number. Then you go over to vacant. You want to see that number as well. But Florida, again, looking in this market, a lot of them are vacant, waiting for short-term rentals and different things. So they could classify that, strangely. So you want to look at that number, but you don't want to put a lot of weight or value on it. It's just something to eyeball right now. Now, this was really interesting to me. Wow. I know back in July, I was talking about how the buyers have gone away. Right here, this shows you the homes that have been on 40 days or more. And then I was just so jazzed by it. I wanted to see 60 days or more of the active listings have been on the market 40 days or more or 60 days or more. And look at this. I mean, Boca Raton, it was really cool. Boca Raton, 62% have been on the market 40 days plus. Brandon, you can go down the list. Cape Coral, that is a market that you see bolded that I have as one of my hit markets that could possibly would be one of the first markets to have issues. Cape Coral, you look at this, the listings have gone up to 5,900. 3 years or less, the 43% of their active listings have been, oh my gosh, it's crazy, are on the market own the home 3 years or less. 43% they're active. That shows major unaffordability issues. You come over, and over here hiding as well is the foreclosures. So really foreclosures, you're not going to see much of that yet, not until Jerome Powell decides for everyone to lose their job in fourth quarter and first quarter, then you'll start seeing the foreclosures. So if you see any foreclosures now, you want to give it more weight on the average because you're not really seeing foreclosures right now. I can't talk. Fort Lauderdale, listings have gone up 37% of their active listings, 3 years or less. And come over to 71% of their listings have been on the market 40 days or more. That's another market that I see is a bloodbath eventually soon. And then on this sheet over here, I did the top markets, get that off there, the top markets that are a problem, and then we'll go back to the spreadsheet again. But Cape Coral, this one I really didn't see. I want to look at it though, because it had some markers that I felt were worthy of looking at. Um, one of the biggest things I didn't tell you guys, I'm sorry. Let's go through this list first. So Cape Coral, Coral Springs, that one I really don't like. I don't want that on here. So hold on. Let's go through the top cities that I believe we're going to have an issue, and then we'll head back to the spreadsheet again. But Cape Coral, I believe it'll get hit hard, and one of the first ones in Florida. If you look at it, 43% of their active listings have owned the home 3 years or less. That points to major unaffordability in Florida. Everyone knows this for sure. You know, our insurance is skyrocketing. Our taxes, everything have gone way up, especially with everyone moving down here and the hurricanes. It's very hard to even get insurance here. 80% active listings with the loan to value ratio, still low because Florida hasn't been hit yet, so our values haven't gone down. You won't really see any movement there. Same with vacants. 75% have been on the market 40 days or more. Now, what I did not tell you guys about was this little bad boy over here. I wanted to look, especially at Florida, the investors. We were hit or bought up big time by Open Door. It was one of their flagships, if not started here. They were buying up everything. I even sold some of our properties to them because they were paying such high prices. I could have told them their algorithm was bad. If you come over here, you'll see in each individual market, I put, now these people live in the market because I drew local residents that own 100 or more properties in this particular city. That doesn't mean they own all the properties in that city, but they are local to that city. What you'll find in a lot of cities, when they're local, they buy locally, they're kind of from there. Where that does not happen is in, well, a lot of people just live there and didn't own properties there. But your Cape Coral, your Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, I drew locals because they'll be there. I wanted to look at, of the investors that were there that owned 100 properties or more, who's sitting there with inventory waiting to pounce at any second to drop their inventory and ruin the market. There's 4,189 people that live, what was that, in Fort Lauderdale that own 100 or more properties. Well, if you multiply that out, you could see at any time, some of them own 1,000, 2,000, 800. I mean, these are just 100 plus. You could do that with two investors, your whole market could be in trouble. So I wanted to look at that number as well. Look at these over here, 12,000, 10,000, 13,000. That's got to be Orlando, I bet you. Yeah, Orlando. The big surprise that surprised me, and there's two markets that something's going on, and that is Naples, and the other one is St. Petersburg. I've never seen St. Petersburg like this. That market is one to watch as well. It's not a huge market. I mean, it's still a huge market with population. I only picked markets that were, 90,000 or more, but Naples and St. Pete is weird to be on the list. They're showing the same thing with unaffordability. Anyone in that 30% or above, that's an issue to me. I would weight that heavier than pretty close to anything on this list right now, because we don't have certain things that other people have with the market coming down yet or not. That and I would also look at the active listings, 40 days or more. The buyers are gone. I mean, look at this, 70%, 71%, 60s, 50s. I mean, all of them have been on the market 40 plus days. It's major. And then you look at the investors here, this little cluster right here. And then you got to look at Tampa, because, Tampa is another one that tons of investors, same thing. They just bought up the market. Up to 40% of the single family homes now are owned by investors. It's way too much. It's out of control. And it's what drove up all the prices for all of us. It's got to stop for sure. I'm going to put this down below so you have the spreadsheet. I absolutely adore you guys. I hope you know I'm going to put the spreadsheet down below. Please like, subscribe if you love this kind of data, because I love putting it together for you. I had a blast. Makes me more knowledgeable. I want to do Texas. I want to do a market that's gone through a crash, so we can look at some of these numbers and start tracking them and see what the LTV looks like in Texas.
That would be very interesting to pull. Absolutely adore you guys. Peace out. Steve Money.